This is your boy Ty Asbury. It's Off the Top Rope Monday night live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CEV Sports Podcast Network. And when wrestling legend ODB told me, Ty, I'm coming on the show, your boy Ty Asbury automatically, he got hungry and he was like, what is on the menu? And the biggest thing about it is on the menu, ODB is going to be live on Off the Top Rope Monday night with your boy Ty Asbury as we talk about her really cool food truck. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Off the Top Rope Monday night with ODB. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch the best wrestling podcast around with some sizzle, it is Off the Top Rope. Yeah. This is your boy Ty Asbury live with a Monday night edition of Off the Top Rope. And like I always say, it's Monday night, so you know what is going down. And I promise for the menu, a menu that is sizzling. My live guest, wrestling sensation. She runs her own food truck, and she is doing big things in wrestling. And she's doing big things now in the food industry. My live guest, the one, the only, ODB. Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Thanks
for having me tonight.
It's an honor to have you on the show. Lots of things to talk about, but most importantly is that ODB, how are you doing? I mean, I know you got the food truck and you're just a busy lady. How are you doing overall?
I am great. And my food truck's been in business for 4 years now. Just had each getting better. And this year I got to take the winter off. So I'm enjoying them in Tennessee right now. So I'm taking about 4 or 5 months off from the food truck. But that doesn't mean I'm not doing something else. So you never know what I'll be getting myself into.
Well, yeah, we're always worried about you with that. ODB, we're always like, what is she going to be getting into? But now since you had some time off, like, you say you're always busy. What do you do during the off season from running your food truck?
I've never had an off season, so this is my first. This is my first off season. I'm like, damn, I already missed my food truck, but no, it's just a different. Like I have my own line of whiskey barbecue sauces that I'm trying to get out there. So my main goal, because food truck takes up all my time. I mean, it's booking it. Smoking all the meat, and it's a constant. I mean, shit, it was a busy summer. And then now it's just time to focus on more of the business side and get my sauces out there and try to get a distributor going and get it out in stores. And hopefully some restaurants will feature the ODB whiskey sauces and maybe have an appearance by the ODB. That'd be a hell of a meet and greet.
ODB, I got to say, I mean, you're the one and only ODB, and you said that people are not picking up your product. I'm pretty sure your sauce will be in all those food chains, so you got to stop. You know what's going to happen. So.
Oh, thank you.
Now, you really brought up a good point about the business side of running, like, the food industry, being a food truck. When you talk about the business side, like, how hard is that to, like, what's the hardest part about the food business from a business standpoint? Because I don't know anything about it. So if everybody watching live wants to know, what are you working on the business side to expand your brand?
Yeah, running a food truck, people just think it's like, oh, you just open up a window and start selling shit. Yeah, no. You got to build, your base, your customer base, got to get people coming back. And I have a brand, obviously the ODB, that I built for 20 years in the wrestling business and expanded. And it's been fun expanding my brand. And that was the one thing I learned in wrestling, where wrestling does come to an end. I mean, I'm not done wrestling, but I don't really want to, be full time with it much anymore, but still make appearances here and there. But, when you have, a business, it's a constant. My mind's going all the time, like, oh, I should do this, I should do that, write this down, right? It's like I always want more. So it's kind of a good thing, I think.
Now, of course, all your wrestling fans want to know, and you actually just answered the question I was going to ask you. You're not fully done with wrestling, but I guess you're doing it like a part-time basis, just like here and there, come kick somebody's ass and roll out, I guess, right?
Yes, I am. Wrestling is, you never know where I'm going to pop up at. I still got it. So, my outfit still fits. And
Of course. I mean, you're ODB. I mean, of course. I mean, girl, you still got it. You did make an appearance with Impact Wrestling, and you came in a quick beat down. When that all came about, did Impact Wrestling reach out to you because you made it was back in February. You came in,
oh, yeah.
back in Impact Wrestling. Did they reach out to you, or how did that come about? Like when that all was starting to roll out, keeping it a secret, I guess.
Yeah, every time I see a text message from Impact, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And it seems to come like once a year. But it's cool. Like Impact's always been my home and will always be my home. So I think it's pretty badass that, they still want me. I'm not knocking on anyone's door, and I never have been. But it's pretty cool when people are knocking on your door and want you back, and even for a little short run, and food truck season's over, so I got about 4 or 5 months to do whatever the hell I want.
now ODB, since you had this you're still working, but you also want to enjoy time yourself, maybe have a beer, just hang out. What are some new things you want to do when you're your time off? If you get the chance, what are some new things you want to do that you haven't tried before?
What are some things I want to do on my time off?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just kind of want to go and visit friends that I haven't seen, because we always get so busy in our lives that this is the opportunity that I have where it's like, well, shit, if I haven't seen one of my, best friends that lives in California, why not go out there? And, it's that time I can do that, where I can just go and, I have a few ideas where I want to go. So
yeah. Well, it's not a small world, and it's a cool thing that you're looking to actually go and visit friends. You said California,
yeah.
everything. Now, you talked about earlier at the top of the show, you talked about your sauce that you're trying to promote and everything. Now, your sauce, is that something you have help with created, or you just came off with it just like that as far as creating your sauce? Because I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. So, how'd the sauce come about?
What was that? Sorry, couldn't hear you.
The sauce that you're trying to promote and bring into people hoping to see and get it promoted out there. Your sauce, how did you just take a couple recipes and throw it together and you're like, oh shit, this tastes good? Like, how did that creation
actually I had help with it, because I wanted to venture off in the barbecue world, and I teamed up with a place called Pepper Palace. They're the #1 hot sauce place in the country, and together, because they're the sauce makers, so, and I was like, well, we got to have whiskey in it, of course. So then we just teamed up and we made perfect sauce for me.
On this show, I mean, everybody's watching live. I'm getting hungry. I just ate dinner, but it's we're having fun here on the show. Now, I was looking at a lot of your stuff that you do for your food truck, and of course, I want to know. Everybody wants to know: are there some new foods that you have coming out, or things that you're pretty much flirting with that you want to bring out new to your customers when you get back into open season?
Yes, I'm already thinking of. Well, obviously, I just want to keep my menu the same, but I am thinking of new meat to smoke and new stuff I want to bring out. And I'm thinking of some good stuff. And it's only been 2 weeks since I've been off my food truck, and I'm already brainstorming for next year.
Now, everybody said when you brainstorm for your restaurant, your food truck, when something comes to you, do you have to keep it there, or you say, "Oh shit, I got to write this down so you don't forget it"? Everybody's different when they're trying to
Yeah.
think of the ideas for their business. Like, how's it with you? Do you have to put everything down on Notepad? Like, how is it for ODB when it comes to her food truck?
I have about 20 notepads, and I don't look back at them, I guess. I just keep it all in my head, which is, yeah, which I should probably, I need like a big, like chalkboard, I think, in front of my RV and just like start writing shit down, and so I can see it every day. I think that's what I need to go get tomorrow. It's a big board so I can just write shit down and see it every day.
Now, when you have the two, you have your food truck and pro wrestling, which, like, pro wrestling is not easy. I'm sure you tell anybody that it's not easy. When it comes to what of the two is the hardest, you think, by being near and by both of them? What do you think's the hardest between wrestling and running your own business?
What was the question?
What what would be the hardest, your food truck or pro wrestling, when it comes to just being around both of them?
What would be the hard? Oh shit, running a food truck. There's times I wish I was freaking wrestling more than, because shit in wrestling you can just show up, and uh, you just show up, get your itinerary, and you know what you're doing. With a food truck, you don't know what's going on, and yeah, there's days where I'm like, fuck, can I just hop on a plane and go wrestle?
Now, I'm sure it was a point in time where you said, like, as far as wrestling goes, you said to yourself, "I need to take a break. I'm just going to do this part time." Like, what was there a moment in wrestling where it really hit you, where you said, "I got to step away for a while, and just do it like part time"?
Yeah, my last contract was 2014 with Impact. And that's when I totally left for a while and then came back probably a year later. But that was my last official contract. And it just, yeah, it comes to, I felt it. It wasn't a bad feeling. I mean, I remember when Vince Russo, called me and his contract was up and I just wasn't feeling it, and it was a thing. Like, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I wasn't going anywhere else. I didn't really care about going to any other company. That wasn't a thing to me. I just wanted to do my own thing. I had my Airstream and I wanted to get on the road and do other things, and it all worked out. But it was
Oh,
that
hell
jump that
yeah.
you really gotta,
Yeah.
you really just gotta go for it.
ODB, have you always been like where you probably gonna say, man, you must not know me that well, but have you ever been like when it came to creating your own food truck, were you like, oh, I'm kind of scared about this, I don't know, or you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it?
If I've always been what?
Have you always been, when you were like playing out your business and your food truck, were you like hesitant to do it, or you were like, you know what, you only live once, I'm just gonna do this?
That's the one thing I do really love about myself is I don't really think before I do sometimes. And sometimes I just jump and I've made plenty of mistakes, but that's how you become successful. You learn from your mistakes, don't do them again. And when I first got my food truck 4 years ago, it was a shit show. Oh my God. Definitely first year was, I don't even count that year. So I shouldn't even really count that year. Then, like, it does, like, because that's what so many people do. They're like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if it fucking, really takes off? So that's the one thing I do enjoy, where I do just go after things. I know it's not gonna be easy, but the journey to me is the best part.
Well, I must say, like I said, I watched you in Impact and your wrestling career and everything. That I'm definitely proud of you. I looked at your website a lot, and you just got like sauces coming out, new food, and I don't know why. Since we've been doing this, I've been thinking about brisket so much. I don't know. It's just like but you're doing like really like some cool things. Now, have you ever thought about, for the food truck, having different like locations for different food trucks but in different like areas?
What's that?
Have you
Sorry, I
ever
had to turn the
have you
radio
ever
off. I couldn't hear shit.
have you ever thought about having like different food trucks, like expanding, but in different locations.
Oh, yes. Actually, I've been really thinking about that. Expanding onto the meet and greet. Um, yeah, because there's kind of, a bunch of different things you can do with the food trucks. A lot of food trucks in Minnesota do brick and mortars.
Okay.
So they'll have a food truck, but then they have a little takeout joint, which is good because then it's like a place where you can park your food truck and also, do carry out and do just expand it more. And then I've been thinking about, possibly doing a food truck in different states, but I can't be on them, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I never, I could, you could do your own, ties meet and greet, it's like,
Hey, you never know. Ties meet and greet. That don't sound too bad, but
yeah,
that would be a disaster. So,
because that would be a thing. Because I've seen, a food truck on Shark Tank years ago, the lobster food truck, and they have, I think, about 20 food trucks now, and they're expanding everywhere. And actually, I just saw one in Nashville, and it's pretty badass when you see, people franchising their business, and you never know. That's the exciting thing. You never know what can happen. Just keep pumping it, focusing on one thing. That's all I've been focusing on is the food truck. So now I'm just like, all right, see where this baby can take us.
well, and you brought up a good point. The thing about with today is you have the internet, and it's
Yeah.
a lot of networking. So I'm sure you probably have so much networking that it can help you out too. I would think you have a lot of people that you network with.
Yes, I do have a lot of people that I reach out to. One of my best friends, is Gail Kim, and she's married to Robert Irvine, Restaurant
Yep.
Impossible. And me and him, we talk, and I talk to some of his chefs, and so it's very cool when you have that right in front of you. And they even said they're like, anytime, they're like, don't be afraid to reach out, even if because when you start a business, you don't know what you're doing. And don't be afraid to say that. That's the one thing. Don't be afraid to say that. And I admitted I didn't know what the frick I was doing for a couple of years.
Well, like I said, we were all proud of you, and like I said, I think you've reached like that high ceiling. I really think for you, it's going to get like this is going to get higher and higher and higher.
Oh, thank you.
And whenever you get a location in upstate New York where I'm at, I definitely got to get my beef on it. So
that would be. I could see an ODB's meet and greet in New York.
because believe it or not, where I'm at, I'm in like upstate New York, so it's like just laid back in country. I think it's really it's nothing here. So I think you'll make a killing out here. So upstate New York, kind of keep that on the back burner.
I'm gonna look up food trucks in that area.
Now, ODB, when people, the thing about it's always been, the woman just does this, the man just does that. Now we're in a world where women can do just every fucking thing that a man can do.
That is true.
If a woman wants to run her own food truck and take it to the moon, what would you tell her about the A's, the B's, the C's, and do this? What would you tell her if they want to follow in ODB's footsteps?
I'm not going to tell you all my secrets, but no. No, it is pretty badass when you see like other food trucks run by women. And I've seen it. There's another successful food truck in Minnesota called Hockey Moms, and it all started with one lady, and it's pretty badass that like I think it's a different time, in this world right now, especially nowadays with the shit show going on, and like women are stepping it up, and it's a lot of women that can do it, and I just say use it, and because women are different, we're more, I don't know how to
I always look at wrestling. Women's wrestling is like the women's evolution of wrestling is bigger. I mean, it's like the women don't stand. I mean, it's like the women don't stand in the corner anymore. I mean, like you come out, beat somebody's ass, have your drink, and what you had to do. But
trust me, I wanted to beat some ass when people come to my food truck.
it's just like, well, actually, how many? I got to say, you don't have to say any names, but have you ever had have you had a customer where they kind of drove you crazy? You want to body slam them because when you work, I'm sure you probably have had a customer, not any names, but
Oh.
how many have you had probably maybe like in your time of doing this?
Oh lordy, I get some winners there at the food truck. Of course, you get people like, oh, want to wrestle? Want to put me in a headlock? No, I really don't. And then, hey, come out and take a picture. I'm like, dude, there's like 50 people deep in my line, and then they'll come around, and I mean, I love it. I do. I really love it when people are wanting to see me and are waiting in line to see me and grab a picture. Like, of course, I take pictures at the food truck. Make sure you're ready for it. I'll stick my head out. But and there's you get the jackasses that they're like, I love you, ODB. They're like, can I have a picture? And I'm like, yeah, you got to buy a sandwich. Oh, I'm not hungry. And then I see him fucking eating a corn dog 2 minutes later. I'm like, you bitch.
I love it. I hope everybody watching the show live, you're getting a laugh just like I am with ODB. ODB is on the show. We're having a blast here. Thank everybody for watching the show live
Yeah.
all around the world. ODB, think about it is like you just have such a high spirit and you're just I say it to myself, God is good and you only live once. And are there times like when you go to sleep at night and you just like how often do you just go to sleep and you say, I got my own business, I'm healthy, like God is good. Like how often do you do that? Like where it really hits you if you have the time to do it.
That's a thing that I've really been starting to do it this past, even the past year or so, like really be thankful for what you have in your life right now, not what you want. I am very thankful and everything that's been going on in my life, and I need to start doing that more, I think. Yeah. I'm always focused on like, all right, what's coming up next? How can I make this bigger? Or what can I do? And I'm like, dude, I should just take a second and just realize what, with the food truck, how far it's gotten in the past even year or two, it's gotten, to where it's at. And there are times where I just need to, yeah. Actually, I need to do that a lot more. Actually, thanks for bringing that up.
I really wanted to say when I watched your highlight, I showed it on my podcast page about you started your food truck, you had the fire and everything, and my heart still goes out to you for that because it's like seeing that to your business. It's like something losing a loved one, and kind of like you feel like you want to quit and you didn't, and that's why I wanted to reach out and say really like. That you didn't, you followed through, and you kept it going, and I just want to reach out to you and say that.
Oh, thank you. So, I mean, honestly, that was the best thing that ever happened to my business and me. Like, I look back and I gave myself, maybe a second to, bitch about it, but then I'm like, it's all good. Start over. And it was the best thing that ever happened. I'm glad that bitch blew up. But it did suck. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you see your whole thing you built for a couple years, just but then after it took a while, but thank God for the wrestling family and got back into wrestling and and then got my dream food truck up and running.
So do you think when that fire came about, do you think that was I'm sure God always
yes
has things happen for a reason. So you really think that happened for a reason?
Yeah, someone up there blew that bitch up. Well, it's weird because the fire guys were there and they basically investigated it that night. Didn't really look too much into it afterwards, and they're like, because it's no propane, it's all electric food truck, and they're like, we have no idea how this fire. I think it was electric, but they're like, was there any funny business going on? I'm like, no. So, I mean, we watched, it was at my buddy's bar and we watched the tapes. It was just me and him watching it and we didn't see anyone. I'm just glad no one got hurt because it was right by his dumpster where the bartenders, go out and throw the garbage out and maybe have a cigarette break. I mean, maybe one of the cigarettes fucking flew into I don't know. Like, yeah. But I'm like, yeah, someone up there was looking out for me.
I think it was a matter of God saying, sometimes you need that kick in the pants, but God's like, I know she's it's like a challenge, and guys think I know she can
That
do better and take her business even higher than what it was when you
well, that's
previously.
the thing. Like people don't realize that. Like when you have stuff that come at you, it's a test, and then it's like how. I mean, no successful person had it easy, and has it easy. Like you just gotta keep like. I'm not even where I want to be. Like there's so much more I want to do with all this, and it's like you just gotta keep on going, and with the shit coming at you, just say fuck it and
That's what I say. You gotta keep it moving.
keep it moving.
You gotta keep it moving. Now, we've been back and forth on the show talking about the food truck and wrestling, and we of course know wrestling ain't going nowhere, just like your business ain't going nowhere. If you, how would you look at the wrestling business today? Like, how would you describe wrestling today? Like, what like any word that comes to your mind about, because wrestling, it was what it was in the 80s, 90s,
Oh
2000s.
shit.
How would you describe wrestling now? Like, if you had to put like a word on it?
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Right now, I think with all the promotions that are killing it out there, like every promotion is doing great, and you get to see wrestlers in so many different promotions.
Yeah.
Like that's the cool thing. Like you look at some of the women, let's say Chelsea Green, love her to death. Like she's a great worker. She's working in Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW. She's making her rounds, which is fucking awesome. like like it's a great time to be a pro wrestler right now. You get to go out there and be your own person, and social media is great because you get to put it out there. And like if you're a wrestler and you're good, if you're a good worker, you should have a job. Like there's no way like if you don't have a job right now. Like it's like all the promotions are doing fantastic.
The biggest thing that comes with wrestling is, too. I mean, you talked about Vince Russo, who's on my show, awesome guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and him had a kick-ass show just last week.
Oh sweet.
Like, how do you feel about pretty much the wrestling podcast industry? Like, because there's wrestling podcasts
Oh
everywhere.
yeah.
Like, do you think it's good for wrestling or bad for wrestling as far as wrestling
I
podcasts?
like it. I like when everyone has their own. Everyone's so unique in the wrestling business, and I think it's cool when they all express themselves more, especially when people have their own podcasts. Because there's a lot of wrestlers that are nerds, that play video games, and so they have their own little uniqueness that they want to talk about. I think it's cool, and it's cool for the fans to, listen to the wrestlers on what they want to talk about. And it could be wrestling, it could not be wrestling, it could be what they do, outside of wrestling. I think it's kind of cool now that people get to. I mean, I love seeing it. Like I mean, then you look at like if you want to bring up the dark side of wrestling, I enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching what some of the wrestlers went through and some of the crazy shit that happened. So it's yeah.
It's just a crazy, like the dark side of the ring that you talked about, wrestling podcast. I got to say, for me, doing my podcasting for years, getting to talk to like talent like you, Vince Russo, I'm extremely blessed. It's been a hell of a ride. And also on the show, I like to read a couple comments. We have Ian who sent a comment in. So I want to actually hook up Ian by asking you this question he asked for you, ODB. Like, what is your like favorite all-time match
Oh
that
boy.
that if it's just one when you're at the food truck cooking it up and you're like, damn, I'm still thinking about that match. What match would that be for Ian? We can help him out here.
Oh boy, I get this question a lot. All right, Ian. I'm trying. Like I did so much. I mean, my character got to do so much, not just wrestling. I got to have a talk show. I got married in the ring and all that stuff. And I don't have like a favorite match, but I guess the one that really pops out is when I won the Knockouts title for the very first time against Cody Deaner. Because that kind of made it for me where you look at Cody Deaner, he did great business. He wrestled a chick and he knew, like, we had a great match. Like, it was awesome because so many, when you work with, and I was one of the wrestlers that worked with a lot of guys. So it was cool to be in that match where he wasn't like, we worked out a match. It was believable, and he was not afraid to, do his thing. And I think that's probably what kind of put me on the map there. And from there, it got even better.
Now, ODB, we're closing up on this awesome episode of Off the Top Rope. I mean, I gave everybody something on the menu. ODB on this Monday night episode of Off the Top Rope on this cool episode tonight. Now, I got to put you on the spot, though. I always do my segment. I call it Damn Ty, That Is Good. So this is a question you got to think about. So you ready to hear it?
Oh, boy. Here we go. Okay.
Now, you talked about, I watch him all the time. So you talked about the one and the only Robert Irvine. Now, the question is, if you had your own show on the Food Network called like Food Truck Impossible, what would you call it?
Oh, ODB's Meet and Greet. It's always a fucking meet and greet everywhere I go.
Now, of course, ODB, to close out this episode, I got to ask you, of course, going ahead, when you go back into the on season for your food truck, what do you want customers to know about the menu, things that are coming up? Because we're here to promote you as well here on the show. So let everybody know, your customers, what's lies ahead when you get back into the groove and season for your food truck.
Oh boy. Well, we're gonna be picky next year about where we go. We're based out of Minnesota, so the food truck stays in Minnesota, or at least that food truck. So I just want people to know that I still have my sauces. I'm getting a store now online, so you can go to odbsmeetandgreet.com and get your sauces. I have special edition, and they're going fast. So I have a special edition of 20 years of ODB. So I have a special label, and I only made one batch of it. So I have my barbecue and hot sauce. So it's 20 years of ODB, and it comes in a box, a collectible box. So I have those on sale. Actually, right now, you can go to my Facebook page, ODB's Meet and Greet. Order yours tonight. And yeah, so just keep on watching it, because next year is going to be great. I mean, we're going to, have some more. We're going to actually have a lot of more merchandise for sale. Every time our food truck will be opened. I got some great new barbecue t-shirts coming out. So be on the lookout. It's going to be even bigger than what it was. Like, the food truck's going to be out there. I just want this bitch to blow up. Not blow up like it did last time. I got to be careful. But I just want to have more fun with it. Like, I'm trying to get ideas and just I'm going to have like certain places that, will go, a lot of more breweries, a lot more concerts. And yeah, I'm excited for, I already want to jump back on my food truck already. Damn it.
I see what I started here on the show. But you brought up a good point too. If you sold food from your food truck at concerts, you would make a killing off that, because people are drinking, having fun.
Yeah.
People get hungry. So that's a good idea that you're really considering.
Oh, the concerts. Yeah. We did Luke Bryan concert last year. We did Lizzo. It's Foreigner. We were at 311, and it's a nonstop. I mean, you're talking 3 hours of just bam, bam, bam. And it's, yeah. A lot of drunk people will eat anything late at night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, drunk people. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I got to say, I've been there too. Of course, we all want to eat. And of course, I have to ask, when it comes to the squared circle, ODB, we're not ruling it out, right? Because you're kind of like, we'll see. You're not fully retired, but yeah, it's like we'll wait and see, right?
Yeah. I will be at WrestleCade this year. That's Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Thanksgiving weekend. So I will be there Saturday and Sunday. So if you guys or anyone going to WrestleCade, come on out. And Gail Kim will be by me, Lisa Marie and Melina. We will all be there. So it'll be a good time.
And the biggest thing of all, when it comes to expanding your business, don't rule out Waverly, New York, because I'm really sad you don't do takeout. Not only with my Eric's, I want a plate. I'm getting hungry. So, you know. But the biggest question of all, ODB, from one to 10, will you ever come back on the show again and talk to your boy Ty Asbury?
Oh, hell yeah. We need a part 2, I think.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Well, ODB, the biggest thing of all, thank you very much for coming on the show. Congratulations on what you accomplished. Stay healthy, be safe.
You.
God bless. And, hey, we all love you. We're all proud of you.
Oh, thank you very much, Ty. I appreciate that.
This is your boy Ty Asbury for Off the Top Rope. My guest was she's the cook, the owner, wrestling badass, of course, ODB's Meet and Greet Food Truck Company. ODB.
Bam, bitches.
There you go. I'll have a drink, but you know what she means. I'm your boy Ty Asbury. Thank you for watching this episode of Off the Top Rope. God bless. Be safe. We're out of here. Peace out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch the best wrestling podcast around with some sizzle, it is Off the Top Rope. Yeah.